Hello and welcome to Battersea Power Station, where we're about to have a very big night out.
3 artists made it through the competition and we thought we'd stay up late and celebrate. So how will they rise to the challenge of painting a night scene?
Will it be an all-night art party or a dark night of the soul? A moonlight sonata or a hard day's night?
Oh, we'll be working like a dog.
It's the final of Landscape Artist of the Year. Throughout the series, we've presented 48 talented and competitive artists with a range of breathtaking and inspiring views.
I think the view is incredible. When we arrived, I actually shed a tear of joy.
We've challenged them to create landscape masterpieces, each in their own individual style. From a blast of the unorthodox...
This is biro sprayed with deodorant.
...to a slice of the unexpected.
I'm pretending I'm a child with poster paints.
OK, splash it on. And throughout it all, 3 artists have excelled. Patsy Moore.
Fujiko Rose.
Sue England.
Just amazement to get through to the final. It's fantastic.
It's definitely a big validation, a wonderful booster of confidence.
This is crazy. No way did I think I would get through to the final.
Now it's time for the ultimate artistic showdown. I've never seen such a difficult final. Just thought you'd like to know that.
Thanks. Thank you, everybody.
I'm a very messy painter.
Oh, no, well, I mean, look at your hands. You look like a Smurf.
Timing-wise, do you feel that you're on plan, on target?
No.
No? OK.
The sensational prize within our finalists' grasp is a £10,000 commission for the Royal Institute of British Architects to capture the Gothic glory of Venice, in honour of the esteemed Victorian artist and critic, John Ruskin.
But it's not just tonight's artwork that's up for scrutiny. The judges will get to see, for the first time, a landscape art artist were given 2 weeks to complete.
Never attempted anything like that before.
And choosing the winner are our judges, Kate Bryan, Tai-Shan Scherenberg, and Kathleen Soriano.
I want our winner to surprise us.
Yeah, as always.
So who will take the top prize and be crowned this year's winner?
The Landscape Artist of the Year 2019 is... As the sun sets over London, tonight our artists face their final challenge. Their view is of Battersea Power Station, which, having lain derelict for decades, is now undergoing a major reconstruction.
Capturing this architectural icon as it's brought back to life are 2 professional artists, Fujiko Rose and Patsy Moore.
Winning would be such an accolade. The thought that the judges rate what I do gives me huge confidence.
It'd definitely be a huge boost for me to win. It would open up new doors, so I have to try my best.
Painting alongside Patsy and Fujiko is one amateur artist, Sue England.
To win it, it would be a validation of what I do as an artist. I just feel so privileged to have got this far.
This is some urban landscape, isn't it? Isn't it stunning?
Absolutely amazing.
There's a lot of detail.
There's a lot of
there.
light coming through it, isn't there?
Yeah.
A lot of light.
I'm going to take my glasses off and then I won't be able to see the detail.
That's the one.
It's the final of Landscape Artist of the Year. It's going to be very exciting. We've got 3 very good artists, but we're also doing it in this crazy situation with this bonkers building. So it's going to be something that none of us have ever experienced before, and I'm really intrigued.
And as darkness falls on the capital, our 3 finalists are preparing for their nocturnal challenge.
It's mostly black and white I need here, isn't it? My view is changing by the second. I loved it half an hour ago. But yes, it's fascinating, and it will keep changing as the night goes on, I'm sure.
I've not drawn a nighttime landscape, so I'm sure there's going to be complications with that. I don't know what those complications will be, but I will know shortly.
The view is a bit overpowering, really. It's right on top of us. It's colossal, and I really don't know yet how I'm going to tackle that scale. I've no horizon line.
While the artists may be full of trepidation, the judges already have something to celebrate.
Hi guys, I'm back.
With a bonus.
Brought somebody with you.
Yeah, I thought we needed an extra judge.
Bonus baby.
She's just gorgeous.
Gina's already picked her favourite.
Oh, excellent. Well, we can all go home now.
So how's she going to express her interest?
But we'll work that out later.
Okay.
Artists, I hope you're not afraid of the dark and that you've been eating your carrots because your nighttime challenge is about to begin.
You have 4 hours to complete the last landscape of the competition. Good luck to each of you, and your time starts now. Patsy, have you been practicing painting in the dark?
No, not really.
But you like the landscape?
Not in all honesty. I looked longingly at the river behind me, but no, it's the power station.
It's like a space station, isn't it? I wouldn't be surprised if it just took off.
Do you think a rocket's going to come out at the top?
Patsy Moore is a professional artist and art tutor from West Sussex. At her heat at Hurst Monsu Observatory, it was her vibrant underpainting technique that led to her winning artwork of the atmospheric scene.
That beautiful red ground coming through and that purple in the sky. She's a really great colourist.
At the semi-final, in Cromarty, Patsy once again combined a palette of warm and cool tones to wow the judges.
Patsy's style is very traditional, but she has found a shorthand. She's able to give us great detail without getting fussy. So I'm really excited to see what she can do tonight.
Now, you did pink backgrounds a lot.
Yes.
It's your kind of hallmark.
Not today, because it's a very different light. I've overpainted my good old Patsy pink background with a kind of indigo, darker tone.
And this is what you've done so far, which is structuring it.
Yes, just marking it all out. I want to get some sky that I did see earlier.
Right.
Not a sunset as such, but a slightly lighter sky towards the bottom.
What about the red crane, the red on the cranes?
There'll be red cranes.
Will
I
there?
love those dots.
I've gone portrait. I find portraits easier to do in a shorter period of time just because I can get detail in and I can get a sense of the place. If I was doing landscape, I think I'd have to include too much and there'd be too much to do, so I've gone portrait with this.
It was professional artist and wallpaper designer Fujiko Rose's ability to edit her view which first impressed the judges. Her dynamic composition, along with her monochrome use of Indian ink on white paper, won her heat at Gateshead's Millennium Bridge.
There's a timeless quality to it, the way in which she's used the white of the paper to define the arc of the bridge.
Fujiko's semi-final industrial seascape delicately conveyed the strength of the engineering while bringing a hint of East meets West to the scene.
Fujiko's great strength is composition. She uses artistic license in a really beautiful way. She doesn't have colour to play around with it, but that might be fine tonight, given that everything's black.
How's it going, Fuji?
I'm not quite sure at the moment. If you come back in a couple hours, I might be crying.
Why will you be crying?
It's a little bit experimental.
What you're going for?
Yeah.
In what way?
It's sort of like, you know, you remember a dream, but you don't actually remember the specifics of it. That's what the image in my head is like.
It's that thing when you try and remember a name that you've forgotten and you're just,
Yeah, it's just on the cusp of it.
There's a lot of detail up there, isn't there?
I am a bit overwhelmed, but I might just squint my eyes, and then it's just a shape.
You seem very relaxed.
No, I'm very nervous.
Oh, are you? You're giving a good
am.
impression of someone who's very comfortable and calm.
I know, I should play poker.
I started by slapping some paint on because I'm just trying to get out the basic shapes and to get the proportions roughly right, which is very difficult because we're looking up at it. Getting the proportions right is fairly vital to how the rest of it will develop.
Retired graphic artist Sue England from Chichester is our only amateur artist to reach the final. Sue first painted as a wild card at Hurst Monsu Castle and was eventually selected as this year's overall wild card winner.
When I saw all the 6 wildcard winners lined up, Sue's jumped out. She'd made something with its own distinct style.
At the semi-final, Sue's depiction of the oil rigs saw her triumph once more, thanks to her signature semi-abstract style.
Sue's essentially a colourist, but it's quite a monochrome palette tonight. And what Sue loves more than anything is that sort of fluidity of the colour across the page. I'm just curious as to how she's going to find that.
So Sue painting through the night, painting a huge building that is lit in a really bizarre way. Interesting or a pain?
Yeah.
Or...
No, it's really interesting. To be honest, I'm not going for accuracy.
Yeah.
It's the feel of the thing and the way it looks at night.
Usually the light falls on an object and it creates 3 dimensions, whereas here all the light seems to be emanating from it. Is it making it difficult to make it understandable?
Yes, it is. I think as well the towers in particular look transparent.
Interesting.
Chinese lanterns or something. You know, as if they're
I
made
know what
out
you
of
mean.
papier-mâché.
But one of your strengths is your sense of colour. And here there isn't much to play with.
No.
Is that an issue?
No, not really, I don't think. I mean, when you look, there's lots of tones going on, all the greys and whites, even browns coming in.
That's enough to work with?
I think that's enough to work with, yeah.
I'll let you crack on. I'll speak to you later.
The artists are almost an hour into their final 4-hour challenge of the competition. And just like the building before them, their deadline looms large.
I am rushing because I am quite nervous for time today because it's not as set in my head what I'm doing. I'm trying to be playful, which usually takes more time, usually requires more thinking.
I will struggle with the time, as always. I'm not the speediest painter in the world. So it's just trying to make the decisions quite quickly and get on with it.
The time restriction is always a problem for me because normally I take days and days faffing about. When I started, I just placed it in and I know I've not got the proportions right, but I'm just going for the feel.
This evening at Battersea Power Station, our 3 finalists are approaching the 2nd hour of their 4-hour challenge, and the view's proving problematic.
I'm struggling a bit. I haven't got the monumental feel of it because the proportions are wrong. I need another foot on my canvas to do that.
At the moment, it doesn't super excite me, so I need to find a way to make it more exciting. Still working that bit out.
I find all of it difficult. It's such a network of lights and different tones and angles. It's everything. It's just everything.
Nighttime painting, why don't we think of this before?
Because it's really difficult for the artist, but the light is beautiful, although painting throughout the night, I think, might be a different sort of problem. I'm ready for dinner and a box set, you know what I mean?
And a kit.
Yeah.
So we're positioned low and at the corner of the building, looking up. What difficulties or opportunities does that afford?
What they've got to really use are the 2 chimneys and the spaces that are clear to create that volume.
So no danger of twee with a brutal industrial
I
look
don't think
like
that is a danger at all.
The moon is just making an appearance. Yesterday was the full moon. I know that because I woke up this morning naked and hairy on Hampstead Heath.
Right.
But I presume the moon might add a little bit of extra something.
That'd be wonderful. I mean, it's such a man-made landscape here. It'd be quite nice to have a little sort of accent that is natural.
Well, it'll be a long night at Battersea Power Station, but let's see which artist can batter the others into submission. I'll get my coat.
So you always get a lot of paint down, which is fantastic. Did you know straight away that you were going to try and tackle not just the verticality of the power station, but also the water in front of it?
Yeah, well, I like water. So it's nice that it's got the reflections in it, even though I've got the reflections in the wrong place.
Did you find it a bit of a struggle to sort of manage something which was so big and also had so many different angles? It's all over the place, isn't it?
It is. There's too much going on, really. And also, I didn't get the proportions right. Once you've got it laid out, you've just got to go with it, really.
Yeah. But of course, what's important is that we're always judging this on the actual painting itself, and we're not looking for a very sort of, you know, architectural drawing. I'm quite struck by your hands. You are definitely the muckiest painter we have this evening. What's going on?
I know. I do make an awful mess. Nobody will shake hands with me now, and hopefully somebody's got some baby wipes. Have you got some baby wipes?
I've got baby wipes. I've got loads of baby wipes. I got you covered.
OK, cool.
Working with her signature medium of masking fluid and black ink, Fujiko's composition is coming together.
You've gone for exactly what you see in front. How are you going to give us a sense of night?
The whole thing should be very dark. It's a very rough sketch, but it's just a sense of light and dark, but I want it to be quite dark.
OK. This almost looks like a little Whistler sketch, which is very appropriate given where we are. Are you a fan of nighttime painting?
I've not tried drawing a nighttime scene before, but I like a lot of artwork that's set at night.
And timing-wise, do you feel that you're on plan, on target?
No.
No? OK, so I better get out of your way.
Just, I spent too long sketching.
OK.
So...
Well, it's a fantastic start. Really, really marvellous.
Patsy, is this pure coincidence that you're actually wearing the colours you are using?
I do love colour coordination. Bring my canvas to match my jumper.
I'm looking at this, and it's very big and it fills your vision.
Yes.
And you've been able to create a bit of distance.
Because it's big and it's powerful, I want to get it all in a short space, but also in a short space of time. You would expect the towers to go vertically. However, if you look at them, they're actually getting slightly closer together and they go slightly backwards.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. This drawing with white has created a sort of weird effect.
Everything's back to front, rather like an old film negative.
Yeah. I love that. It does give it a sort of ghostly negative.
Should I leave it like that?
Afraid you... No, crack on.
The celebrated monolith of industrial architecture that the artists are painting tonight was first conceived in 1927. Due to London's rising population and an increased demand for electricity, plans were drawn up for a super power station, and access to a transport infrastructure was vital.
The location was pretty ideal. There were a lot of railway lines that terminated here. Also, you've got proximity to the River Thames for shipping in the coal, which was used to fire the boilers, and you could also bring coal in by rail. So it was seen as an ideal location by the London Power Company.
By 1955, the buildings were completed, but not before the renowned architect Sir Giles Gilbert Scott was brought in to refine the existing design.
He was an expert at monumental buildings and design. So he's given us the fluted chimneys, he's given us the elevational treatment on the brickwork, and it becomes more and more ornate as you go up into the monumental building that it is.
But by the 1970s, the power station was outdated, and 1983 marked its final year of electricity production. By this time, the building had become an iconic landmark, having graced album covers and gained listed status. For the next 30 years, the building lay derelict, until finally in 2012, its current regeneration began.
Capturing the power station as it undergoes its transformation are our 3 finalists, and they're almost halfway through their late-night challenge.
I'm okay energy-wise, just quite hyped up. It's adrenaline, I guess. My nervousness is also keeping me going.
I'm not going quite as fast as I would like. It's always a race against time for me, and I think at the end I'm going to feel absolutely banjaxed.
How's your stamina?
I'm hoping the coffee will keep me going through.
Plenty of coffee.
Yes, a drop of rum in it would be nice.
That would be nice. Tonight at Battersea Power Station, Patsy, Fujiko and Sue are nearing the halfway stage of their last challenge of the competition, battling to win a £10,000 commission and the prestigious title of Landscape Artist of the Year. They're all feeling the pressure.
I haven't got to the point of ruining it yet. I've still got such a lot to do. But yes, I could easily just panic and spoil it.
If I could start again, having looked at it for 2 hours or whatever it is, I understand what the building's doing a bit more now, but I can't change my mind halfway through.
It was quite miraculous. The ink didn't go on the paper even though I dropped the brush. Oh, my heart went.
We're halfway into the final, and how are they doing? Let's start, first of all, with Sue.
I think Sue's got a really good composition. I love the fact that she's got right in there. I slightly worry that the colour, in the way it's applied, it feels a little bit slabby.
It does look like there's really good bones there, but it's looking a bit flat, isn't it? But I'm hoping the second half of our evening, she'll really be able to lighten it up.
She did start by putting on huge slabs of colour. It was industrial.
But also very organic. We get the presence of the building without the 2 chimneys being delineated.
OK, now Patsy. How do you think Patsy's doing?
I was a bit worried that Patsy's composition was too traditional and she was trying too much in too small a space, but I think she is pulling it off.
I do like the blue, colder tones that she's picked up, but what I'm worried about is I feel I'm looking at something rather romantic.
For me, it works because of the ghostly nature, and that's happened to her white pastel drawing underneath. I think it's rather beautiful.
OK, what about Fujiko?
I really like the way Fujiko breaks things down as that sort of horizontal and vertical elements. But I need to feel that I'm looking at something more than just a very good illustration.
What she's got is very true, it's very accurate, the blacks are gorgeous, but there's no sort of storytelling.
What was interesting, where she's masked out the cranes and she's put the black in the sky, it looks like constellations.
I'm worried for all of them about the introduction of the red lights. How sweet that might make the pictures.
I was talking to Stephen about the view, and he said there's no chance of tweeness here. And I went, no. And I've just said, yes, the red lights, it would make it incredibly twee.
I have to tell you, none of them are going to leave out the red lights. Of course, part of your judging will involve looking at the work they've been commissioned to do over a period of time. How do you feel about that, Kathy?
Super excited. It's always one of the best bits.
Yeah.
When we have the big reveal.
And it can change everything. You can think, right, I know who my winner is, I've got no problems. And then you see the commissions and you see a totally different side of the artist. So it's really the combination of both that helps us make our minds up.
For their commissions, our finalists were assigned 3 spectacular but very different landscapes, without the pressure of a time challenge.
The commissions are important because they remind us of what they are like as artists when they are doing something under their own steam, within their own time frame. What we get to see is something that they absolutely have edited 100% themselves.
Sue headed off to Falkirk in Scotland, home to the world's only rotating boat lift, which connects 2 canals. The Falkirk wheel is a pioneering feat of modern engineering, but perhaps not the most obvious subject for a painting.
Well, it's not what I would call a landscape. I've never attempted anything like that before in my life.
Fujiko travelled to the foot of the Black Mountains and the ruins of the 12th century Lanterney Priory, originally built by a Norman knight and once one of the great medieval buildings of Wales.
There's a lot to this view, which can be intimidating. The Abbey's already fabulous, but it's situated in such an amazing location.
Patsy visited the remote island of Skellig Michael off the southwest coast of Ireland, where the remains of an early Christian monastery perch high above the sea.
Wow, it's extraordinary. It's another world, isn't it? Just another world. They're tombstones. What a view these guys have got forever.
The three locations chosen by the judges all had strong, distinctive characteristics and came with their own set of artistic challenges.
The main struggle is just, I think, it is very complex. Because it's a very open structure, you can see through the arches. It's quite hard to play with that, in a sense.
It's got so much to it. Clear blue sky, bright blue sea. The view could be a bit chocolate boxy or pretty.
I'm moving, the boat's moving, the water's moving, the machinery is moving, all within this huge space. But I'm already getting ideas as to how I can amalgamate that.
And to fully marvel at the mechanics, Sue was invited to look inside the wheel.
There we
Oh,
go.
great. Danger of death.
Yeah, don't worry.
That's
You'll be safe with us.
encouraging, yes.
You can go all the way through. You could go out and then we can look out the door at the other end.
Okay, well, I'm up for anything, whatever. Wow, how bizarre is this? Woo!
You are inside.
That is no landscape like I've ever experienced before.
One of the main challenges for our finalists is how to capture more than just the view.
I do want to create a sense of, you know, like you can step inside the picture. It'd be really lovely to do.
I don't want to do a horizon, the wheel, the water, all flat on. I've got to somehow mix all that in together.
I am fascinated by these rough old stairways. I think I might have found my view.
The artists returned home with 2 weeks to complete their paintings. The finished works will be unveiled before the final judging.
But tonight, the three artists have just 4 hours to create their final artworks. And painting at night is presenting a whole new set of artistic dilemmas.
Fujiko, you've got a very strong sense of the structure of the building already. How are you going to deal with these accents of light around, the red lights and the cranes of white sort of...
The paper colour is going to be the white. In a way, because it's nighttime, the light's so much more obvious and it just becomes like another shape in a way. The sky's not done yet. I think it's going to be a bit darker. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, because it's quite a dark sky.
But it's not pitch black
No.
out there. There is light in there. So are you enjoying it?
I really love just before I started drawing, when I'm sketching the ideas out. And I like the last maybe 30 minutes of the drawing. I'm in the middle phase where I'm putting the ink down, and usually that's the scary phase for me where I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I'm going to have to change that later.
So it sounds that the process, the most of it is painful.
It's tense. I enjoy it, but it's tense.
I feel like I'm looking at something that's quite romantic. I think it's the colour that's making me feel about the romance more than anything.
But I can see those colours. Angela, the colours are changing every minute.
But it's a symphony of blues I'm looking at here, as opposed to sort of the inky black or dark purples that we're looking at in the sky.
I didn't actually want the sky totally black.
OK.
I wanted it to be like the light we had earlier on.
OK. And how are you going to deal with
I don't know.
what I think are the really troublesome, pretty red fairy lights that we have dotted everywhere?
Well, they will be there. There will be some cranes as well. I can't do it without the red lights.
Do you worry that if you put the red lights on it, it's going to
look like static fireworks?
I'm wondering.
We'll see how they come out.
For one artist, it's not just the painting that's proving a challenge.
You're right.
Getting a little bit tired, to be honest.
It's late. It's actually the next day now.
It's past my bedtime.
You're right. How are you finding Battersea Power Station?
It's quite different at night than I thought it was going to be. It's more floaty, and I think that black really throws the towers. So I need to work a bit more on the towers, and then I'm going to put the highlights in, all these lovely reflections down here.
Right.
And those beautiful red spots at the top there are just going to be...
They're very pretty, aren't they?
In the right place.
With the prospect of victory within their reach, the finalists have less than an hour to resolve their landscapes.
No, I'm not happy with it at the moment. It's looking very messy, but there's not much I can do about that. I'm pretty sure I will run out of time.
I think I've captured some of the feel of it, the size of it, and the fact that it's really dominating what we've been looking at all evening. It's a bit messy and it's not that accurate. The middle bit is very peculiar because it's right in the middle. It bothers me a bit.
I'm struggling more than I would like. I need to get a move on, extra move on. For me, the atmosphere at the moment of what I'm drawing is a bit flat. It's just finding the things that's missing, you know, a bit of seasoning almost for the artwork.
Painting one of London's iconic landmarks in the hopes of being crowned Landscape Artist of the Year are Patsy, Fujiko and Sue. And time is running out as they approach the conclusion of their challenge.
There's only 10-15 minutes left. I don't think I can do too much in that time. I don't think I'll overwork it. I'll get it presentable.
Artists, wake up. It's the final countdown. You have 5 minutes left.
I'm on the verge of fiddling. The middle bit of the building is wrong and looks a bit of a mess, but there's not a lot I can do about it at this stage. I think I'm going to sit back and look at it and decide if it needs any more little touches here and there.
I'm doing cranes now on my picture, which are lovely shapes, if I could get a grip of them. With the time I've got left, I will be checking in some darks and lights and smudging things around a little bit. This doesn't look like a Patsy painting at the moment at all.
Artists, you have 1 minute left.
I'll hold back on crying until after I finish drawing. I can't afford the time right now.
Artists, for the very last time this series, your time is up.
Please put down your brushes and step away from your work. While our artists can finally relax...
So what did you find the hardest thing about this evening?
Standing up.
The judges review this evening's works of art and also get their first look at the commissions.
Oh, wow.
Blimey.
Oh, cool.
That is some spread.
Oh, such different takes.
It just changes everything, doesn't it?
Always.
OK, so taking them one by one, Fujiko, that is quite an outstanding commission.
I'm quite happy with my commission piece. Lantany Priory was really lovely, and I could kind of go with the flow a bit when I was drawing it, which I really enjoyed.
It is quite a phenomenal piece of work. You really feel the foliage.
What's amazing is the way that she shows the light dappling. It's absolutely beautiful, just with the light touch of that wash.
The movement in it is incredible because the centre is completely empty. So when you focus on it, you just get exploded outwards.
And you don't miss colour.
I was thinking Fujiko's work tonight was problematic. It was simplistic, and actually seeing Fujiko's commission next to it, suddenly it looks much stronger.
Tonight, what she's done, she's really showing this thick, velvety sky. It's really, really oppressive, and still managed to find the natural elements of the landscape and overlay that.
In her evolution, she actually reduced her language.
Absolutely. Both of those side by side, they make sense of her work as a whole.
Tonight, I struggled with the landscape more than I was expecting myself to. There's a few bits I would like to have tweaked. It's just missing a little bit of pizzazz.
Patsy, what do we think? Were we expecting watercolour?
I'm worried the judges might not like watercolour. I'm also worried that they might think it looks rather like a meringue rather than an island.
I'm impressed with what Patsy managed to do with Skelly. She's given it this completely otherworldliness, which it clearly has, and I think the fact that she's used watercolour has allowed her to capture a sense of that more effectively.
Yeah, especially the way she's rendered the light. So on the path that we're going to follow is light, and then you've got this beautiful shadow down towards the sea on the left, which is absolutely readable.
I'm really impressed because although it is believable and feels like a real landscape, there's a kind of poetry in the way that the paint's gone down. The problem is looking at Patsy's commission and then seeing it next to what she's done tonight, they don't sit together brilliantly. I don't know whether we should hold that against her because we are interested in seeing a range.
When you look at the work today, that sort of lyricism and poetry has become slightly too heavy-handed. She became sort of weighted down with the romance of it.
I thought the accents of the white lights tonight might give the artist something to work with. In Patsy's case, it's reduced the impact that this building actually has.
And I think what's really great about what she's done this evening is that colour palette. It is really beautiful. She was the only person to identify this diesel blue at the end of the day and allow that to come into the night. I think it makes her sky more believable.
I could have done so much better with the picture I've just painted. With a bit longer, I'm not happy with what I've done, really.
Shall we talk about Sue?
This is like a Barbara Hepworth piece of modernism.
The commission was daunting, trying to combine landscape with this metal monstrosity in the middle of the landscape. But I did enjoy, in the end, trying to find a way around that.
You've got an artist who's identified a distinct element that somehow captures the whole thing. I love that.
I love the colour palette. It's like a beautiful, summery, blue sky day, but there's nothing pretty about it at all. I mean, the way that those trees are melting into the fields is so cool.
It feels like sort of English futurism. There's a real sense of a certain time in English history. It's very well balanced, and I think that's because of the colours and the tonalities she's using. Her power station is emanating energy, and it's the only one that does it in the way that I see it happening tonight. I think it's a very well-constructed painting.
I really love the way that Sue handled the shadows this evening. You really get a sense of not just the building, but the effect that the building has on the space around it. So the night sky, the cranes, the greenery, the water.
I was really worried about Sue's blockiness earlier on today. But actually, it's got a really strong sense of how it felt tonight. It does sort of loom over you.
I'm never happy with most things I produce. I didn't resolve the middle section, but I think I captured something of the feel.
I'm really thrown by these commissions in a really big way. I thought I knew where I was headed, and I might have gone completely the opposite direction after seeing these.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Well, there's nothing like it being the middle of the night to sharpen your judgment. And there we have monochrome, watercolour, 3 oils. Does that confuse any judging?
It's always the commissions that change everything.
The commission makes sense of what we've seen in the heat. It's not as if it's like
Not as
thrown
if
out.
it's just judged on the
Exactly.
commission.
It can tip something somewhere else.
So you've changed your judgment?
I have personally changed
And
who
Ty,
I thought
have
would
you?
win.
Well, I was in a position just now where I had a winner for tonight's work, and I found somebody's commission was streets ahead of the others, and it's not the same person, so I'm a bit sort of confused. And having said that, I think all three finalists this evening were masters of what they did. We definitely chose people who were good.
Have you come to a decision?
Yeah. Yeah. And very excited in it, too.
Sue, Patsy, Fujiko, you really have, all of you, been splendid finalists. Not only that, but it's been a real pleasure for us to follow you right through the competition. Now, tonight's prize is a £10,000 commission from the Royal Institute of British Architects to create a landscape vista of a city which has been inspiring artists for centuries. You will go to Venice.
So, this being the final, only one of you can be declared the winner. And after much deliberation, the judges have reached their decision. The Landscape Artist of the Year 2019 is... Fujiko Rose.
I have apparently won, which is very, very exciting. It's a bit of a birthday present for me, since my birthday's in 3 days. I'd say best birthday, isn't it? There we go. It is definitely really big for me in the sense of self-confidence. So it's great that the judges reacted to it well, and wow, it's one of the best things you can really ask for, isn't it, with being an artist?
The whole thing's been a positive for me. Plus, it's helped my painting, so I shall take that away with me, yeah. I think Fujiko's work is fantastic. She's very talented, and I'm in awe of what she does.
Thank you. I'm not in the slightest bit surprised that Fuji's won. I think she's a very, very worthy winner, and I shall follow her with admiration and inspiration. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been such fun, and I think everybody should try it.
Have you ever been?
No, I've not been to
We're really delighted with our winner. Fujiko makes complete sense as an artist. She captures light so beautifully. She knows what she's doing.
She's mashing up printmaking techniques with ink drawing and doing it in really interesting ways.
It's new, basically.
Yeah.
What she's doing is new.
She's increased the qualities which are traditional, and by doing so has made something much more radical and interesting. You see her confidence growing, and I really have utter faith in her as an artist.
It's just really fitting that we've got an artist who's ready to go out and do it properly. I mean, you know, I think her and Venice are going to get on like a house on fire.
Venice is very exciting. Haven't been. I've always wanted to go. I am looking forward to seeing all the architecture. I'm feeling very fortunate. It's wonderful.
Next time, Fujiko travels to the romantic city of Venice
I like this way of travelling. It feels quite glamorous.
to create her prize commission.
I really want it to be a balance of the past, the present, and the future of Venice. Try and inject all those things in.
Before its grand unveiling at the Royal Institute of British Architects.
Here we go. Yes.
Hello and welcome to Plymouth Hoe, famous as the place where Sir Francis Drake finished his game of bowls before sailing out to encounter the Spanish Armada.
No such luxury for today's 8 artists who have a strict 4 hours in which to complete their painting of this stunning landscape.
So, since time and tide wait for no man, let's get on with the competition. It's a brand new series of Landscape Artist of the Year.
Over the coming weeks, we're travelling the length and breadth of Great Britain and pitching our pods at some of the most remarkable, challenging and exhilarating scenes.
This is a bit of a gift for you today.
Couldn't be better, could it, Aunt Isla?
Are you pleased?
Yeah, delighted.
From breathtaking fairy tale castles to awe-inspiring engineering marvels.
The view is spectacular, so I really want to do it justice.
Throughout the competition, 48 gifted artists will be challenged to capture these truly glorious vistas in their own unique style. The way you're swinging that brush, I'm going to get out of the way.
Yes, right.
The artists are competing for a sensational prize, a £10,000 commission to paint a scene in Venice to celebrate the bicentenary of the art critic John Ruskin.
But first, they'll encounter strict scrutiny from our 3 judges. Art historian Kate Bryan, independent curator Kathleen Soriano, and award-winning artist Taishan Schierenberg.
That is exciting and also scary for us, but hey.
Great. I'm glad that you're terrified too.
At every location, an extra 50 wildcard artists will be trying their luck to go through to the next stage of the competition, whatever the weather.
Seemed pointless using an umbrella, seeing everyone else's blow away.
So batten down the hatches and hold on to your hats as we begin the search for the Landscape Artist of the Year.
Hoping to claim a place in the semi-final today are 6 professional artists. Dante Turner, Zosha Olenska, Kathy Reddy, Andrew Wykes, Lisa Turner and William Balthazar Rose.
I paint usually in a very private way. But it is time to go public with my art.
And taking them on are 2 plucky amateurs, Tony Munns and Maggie O'Keefe.
Apparently, if I tell my brain I'm excited, it will see myself as being excited rather than really nervous. So I'm trying to do that, but I know I'm lying.
All of the artists were selected based on a piece of artwork they submitted online. So today, the judges get their first chance to scrutinise the real things. Good morning, judges. Since we're at the seaside, it seems appropriate to start with some fish and chips.
It's like a little Edward Hopper scene, you know, the person alone at their work, the fantastic long shadows of the ketchup bottles. You can smell the grease of the chips, you can smell the brine of the sea. It feels like you're really there.
We're used to people reacting to the landscapes, trying to get the right colour or tone, and here somebody's physically reacting, but in a very sort of unusual way. So we have these tracings of their emotions as they react to the landscape over the whole thing, which gives it this frenetic energy, which is quite fascinating. I really liked the construction of it, the way your eyes led across the bridge to the factory buildings and then blocked out by the foliage. It's very well balanced.
Yeah. I'm pleasantly surprised by the scale of this, and so it means that everything I liked about it I almost like more. The sort of undone figures are even more undone because actually their legs are just formed of one big rectangle of paint, just to give you that sense.
And another bridge here, but less of it.
Less of everything, really, and that's the charm of this piece, is that they've foregrounded the angle of the bridge through which we actually see this tiny little landscape.
So, Bali.
When we think of a landscape, we think you've got to see as far as the eye can see for miles, and actually this person's reminding us that a landscape is also in the micro. You need to sit amongst Bali and be really entranced by all these amazing patterns and geometry that you can find within nature. Is it South America somewhere?
It's Lima.
Lima.
Lima in Peru.
Everything's on the off. The road is slightly off. I love the buildings in the background being slightly off and tumbling down and falling into each other. And that gives you a sort of really strong sense of tension, but it's all rooted by these wires that sit across the top and somehow keep everything under control. It's got a really, it buzzes, this painting.
I like the format of this. You really get the spread of the bay, but I really like the colour, the tonality that seem to emanate from the sculpture, the grubby greens. You find them echoed in the trees and in the sort of this weird, dirty sea. So it's all of a tonal quality, and it works.
And our final landscape today, but it's in North America. That sky is incredibly blue.
What I really like about it is the use of red in the noise of green. It sits underneath the dark bushes and makes your eyes sort of travel across really nicely, and it breaks up all that incredible range of greens very quietly but very effectively.
So we've got landscapes from all around the world. Let's see how they cope with Plymouth.
Capturing Plymouth, it seems, requires an entire studio's worth of kit.
I decided to bring just about everything. It's compact packing.
And apparently some from the kitchen.
I'm very interested in connection between cooking and painting. And so this is my experiment, that I've actually come as a chef. And I've got my hat on for you. Et voila.
Artists, I hope you have everything you need to create a masterful work of art as your challenge is about to begin.
You have 4 hours to complete your painting, and your time starts now.
Each in their own way, the artists get to grips with the vista before them. Today, our artists are looking out over the mouth of the River Plym, with the yacht harbour in the distance, and in the foreground, the unmissable landmark of Smeaton's Tower.
We've got a great view today. We've got a cracking lighthouse in the middle of their scene, this amazing pop of colour that they're going to have to deal with. They've also got the headland, there's the sea, and there's lots of people around. It's Landscape Artist of the Year, so that means we have a very big personality to contend with, and that is, of course, the British weather. So it could start raining, the blue sky could disappear. I think they just need to lock their composition down early. Then if they can do that, they might be able to beat this challenge, because actually it's a pretty tricky one coming to the seaside.
But one artist is utterly undaunted by today's challenge.
The strategy for today is to start off with a very quick acrylic painting covering all the way over, looking very carefully for tonalities that I see in the view in front of me, and I want to accomplish that in about an hour.
Andrew Wykes, a professor of art at Hamline University in Minnesota, loves to paint trees, as demonstrated in his submission, which depicts his local park. To capture today's view, he's decided to go extra wide.
That's 3 boards?
It's 3 little panels, yeah.
Did you know that was going to be how you were going to approach it today?
Well, originally I thought maybe I'll do a square, and then when I saw what was in front of me, I realised it really needs to be a very long kind of view, with perhaps the lighthouse in it, but if it is going to go in it, it would be to the far left as some kind of foreground structure.
And I see already you haven't been going long. There's paint on your hands, the hat's seen a bit of paint. Are
you're
going to be quite a grubby painter, right?
Definitely. Oh, very messy.
We're going to have to hose you down at the end of the day.
It's not a technique, it's just me. I'm just messy. I'm just disorganised.
Okay, well, the way you're swinging that brush, I'm going to get out of the way.
Yes, right.
One artist is taking a much more abstract approach.
I am doing a mindful drawing. I close my eyes and get focused and listen to the sounds and just respond to those sounds with marks. So if there's a bird going like that, I might go like this on the paper. If I draw blind, it always comes out better than trying to make a great drawing. Yeah, I need to just be brave and trust the process.
Amateur artist Maggie O'Keefe is a children's play worker who, after attending a mindfulness retreat 5 years ago, rediscovered a love of painting. Her semi-abstract submission was created from memory using mixed media and depicts one of her regular heights in the Yorkshire moors.
Maggie, you're really kind of like tuned into the environment that you're in, but not with your eyes.
Yes.
We think of painting as just a purely visual activity.
Yes, so I want to bring in the other senses to be more mindful about what's happening. And I like abstract, so it helps send the painting into the abstract realm.
What about our friend the lighthouse?
It's out of, I can't see the lighthouse.
Okay, you've decided not to see the lighthouse.
If it was right in front of me, it would be the main character, I guess.
But instead
it's
we've
not.
got this fantastic sky.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lovely start. I really like your process. I think we could all do with a bit of tuning into the sound of this landscape today. So I might try and go and do that myself.
Yeah, I recommend it.
But it seems not everyone's been seduced by the tranquility of the seaside.
It's blue, flat, just like one big feature that you can't really ignore. And yeah, honestly, it's about the worst thing I could think of to paint. I would never have chosen it.
Self-taught professional artist Zosia Olenska gave up commercial illustration to pursue a career in fine art. Her submission of Barnes Bridge in London was created to produce a river painting with no river in it. It's a compositional device she's using today.
I think it's super clever, actually, that you've avoided that large open expanse and you found a tiny little crevice there. It really does look like a window. It's almost like you've drawn... I was wondering if you've drawn the side of the pod.
I have drawn the side of the pod. I like pictures when you kind of have to fill in a little bit more of it themselves. So I think giving you a little bit of sea means that, you know, if you had a day out at the beach, you'll hopefully be thinking about that when you're looking at it.
Do you go into the detail towards the end?
Usually I do a really detailed pencil drawing to start with, but actually all the details really, like, it's in that harbour behind the lighthouse here. So I think I'll probably leave that till last in terms of ad hoc strategy. I don't know.
Well, that's very exciting.
You've got no game plan?
No game plan.
Oh, my goodness, no game plan.
That is exciting and also scary for us, but hey.
Great. I'm glad that you're terrified too. That's brilliant.
Our 8 hopefuls aren't the only artists on Plymouth Hoe today.
Can't wait!
50 wildcards have come along to have their go at capturing the view across Plymouth Sound.
I like the colours in the water in the boys. They're quite grey and grim, but there's nice colours in there to bring out.
The ultimate victory is to catch the judges' eyes and be in the running to gain a place in the semi-final.
I'm looking forward to chatting to the judges because it's nice to hear different opinions on your work.
You're not rubbing it already, are you? What do you mean? You can't be rubbing it.
It really is lovely, isn't it? I mean, if you do rubbish painting, it don't really matter, does it? Because you've been looking at that for 4 hours. So it'll be a nice day, whatever, I think, won't it?
A short distance along the seafront are our 8 pod artists.
And as the good old British weather begins to make its presence felt, one artist has a big decision to make.
The sky keeps moving. For 10 minutes, it's perfectly crystal clear. Then there's clouds. Now there's a mist and a fog coming in. So I'm not sure what to do with the sky, how to tackle that. Do I make it look sunny or do I make it look like it is now, moody and misty and something more like Turner would have done?
No stranger to working en plein air, Cathy Reddy took part in Landscape Artist of the Year 2017, creating a lino cut of Knaresborough Bowling Green. She specialises in prints depicting Irish agriculture, as seen in her submission this year.
It was a barley crop at home on the farm, and it was more environmentally friendly. And that particular day that I decided to make a print of it, I was out walking through the field and my father was beginning to harvest it with a combine. So I took a picture on my phone. I came back an hour later and was trying to sketch it before he cut all of it away. I suppose I wanted to commemorate that crop on the farm because I'm always trying to commemorate what the farmer does in the landscape. So, you know, the barley was there, now it's gone 15 minutes later. So as the farmer makes a mark in the landscape, I try to make a mark in the lino to replicate what they're doing.
OK, what do you make of this landscape?
It's absolutely fabulous. It's a real monumental landscape. You've got this man-made fixture of the lighthouse in contrast with the cliffs. I absolutely love it. It's big, it's bold, there's so much you can do with it.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that develops. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
With an hour of the challenge already gone, there's no sign of the weather settling.
Because the light is constantly changing out there, It takes a lot closer study at the hues and tonalities of things.
I was delighted when the clouds came over and it started to rain, and I just thought, yay, something to follow, because that's kind of what those marks are, me following the clouds.
The weather's changing so quickly, and by having the pod in, I think it's framed it in a way that at least I'm concentrating on a smaller part of the canvas. So it's less to go wrong, hopefully.
Here on Plymouth Hoe, 8 competitive artists have already spent an hour creating their landscapes. They're contending with a hard-to-ignore lighthouse and fluctuating meteorology.
Well, you're lucky you're sheltered from the rain, that's what it's saying.
How have you found dealing with the weather?
Terrible.
Terrible, ¿por qué?
It's different because 20 minutes is sunny and 20 minutes is raining and cloudy. I think I had to change during the day, I think.
So very good idea that you've gone small.
Yes, because can I, for example, put the raining in that area and maybe a little bit sunny here because it looks more interesting.
Professional artist Dante Turner likes to depict spaces altered by humanity, as seen in his submission of Lima in his native Peru. It captures the divide between wealthy candidates and their poor electorate during elections.
In your painting submission, we had so much detail and busyness with all the buildings behind.
Yes.
You've gone for something that's completely, almost empty here.
Yeah.
Where are you going to get that detail in?
I think I'm going to get the details with the boats, los barquitos.
Barquitos.
The buildings behind.
¿Y cómo que no tenemos el farol?
I think it's quite big from him. We are too close, I think.
Too dominating.
Too dominating. It's going to take some more part of the canvas, I think.
Fantastic. Come back later.
Okay.
Soon. Good luck.
Thank you.
So you've given us a lovely, pretty lighthouse, boats bobbing in the harbour. Just need a puppy in the foreground. And we've got the full house of Ty's delight. How do you deal with the view we've given them without it becoming twee?
Luckily, we've got the weather.
Yes.
Which has been a total nightmare, really, with the weather changing this quickly and this frequently.
So as the weather changes frantically, should an artist just decide, I'm going with the overcast look, or I'm going with the blue sky in the background look, and stick with it? Or should they try and respond second by second?
Each of the elements we've given them, the lighthouse, the headland, the sea, in any given weather condition, it becomes more beautiful or less beautiful. And if you can combine all the best elements and the best weather conditions, you could get a very interesting, vibrant painting. But, you know, it's a competition. And I'm hoping the artists take advantage of what the changing weather sometimes gives them. There's some absolutely beautiful light effects. And if they're good, they'll find them.
What I don't want to do is just a picture of the obvious, which is the lighthouse. It's not a picture of a lighthouse, it's obviously a picture of a place and a location. So what I've got is the viewpoint slightly higher than ground level that actually embraces everything into a sort of coherent and well-managed picture.
Amateur artist Tony Munns is a graphic designer whose love of the seaside is apparent in his acrylic submission of an imagined scene. He wanted to create the familiarity of fish and chips on a pier at the end of a summer's day.
Tony, I can't help but think this view is a bit of a gift for you today. There was a kind of charming seaside nostalgia, Hopper-esque quality to your submission. Yep. And here, look at this. I mean, it's...
Couldn't be better, could it, aren't I?
Are you pleased?
Yeah, delighted. But having said that, this has its own challenges. It's obviously a huge 180-degree almost sort of landscape. It's got all these different components in it, which are, none of them are really tied together. They're all sort of disparate bits and pieces and different styles, different colours, different shapes. And I was also slightly concerned about the magnitude of that feature versus you know, everything else, really. So
yeah, because it's a game of scale, isn't it?
It
Because
is,
you
yeah.
can see so far away. This is really, really wide, and this is actually a really enormous vertical structure which kind of dissects the whole thing.
Yeah, so with that in mind, I thought if I went to a sort of higher viewpoint...
Yeah, that seems... It's almost like you're a drone above the area that we're in.
It's my way of bringing the components together in
Yeah.
a sort of a believable form.
And so is the lighthouse coming to life after lunch or before lunch?
Probably after lunch at this
After
rate,
lunch.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in between the rain showers.
The lighthouse is so huge from where I'm sat, but it seems unkind to not represent it. I really want to get it all in.
Originally from Cheshire, art teacher Lisa Turner likes to paint places she visits with her children. Her panoramic submission is based on a photo of Ilfracombe Bay, taken when the family went to see Damien Hirst's famous statue, Verity.
You've just turned the Verity piece that you submitted on its side, haven't you? You've got a tall vertical, but weirdly you've chosen not to embrace that sort of rolling hillside that you had in Ilfracombe.
Yes. I didn't feel she was as dominant in that landscape as that is. It's right up into the sky, isn't it?
It is.
I felt like I really wanted to use that.
And from a proportions, you have made it smaller, haven't you?
Yes.
Because I can see with that first band of red, that's sitting above the hilltops there, but you've put it way below to sort of contain it almost.
Yeah. I mean, it is dominant, but I didn't want it to be as dominant as that because it would just be sort of, that's a lighthouse. And I wanted a bit more going on. It's always a gamble, but I'm hoping.
Gamble in a competition, that's the way.
And it's high stakes for another artist who's adopted an unconventional strategy.
Have you come from another job? What's with the chef's outfit?
Well, I just wanted to crawl into the mind of a chef.
Is it a performance art kind of thing going on?
I try to resist categorizing myself.
I see.
Because I feel that, you know, one of the jobs an artist has is to try different things. So I'm trying different things because I think it expands the possibilities.
William Balthazar Rose has been a professional artist for more than 30 years, dividing his time between Italy and Somerset. His oil on canvas submission is of Bath Bridge and is a far cry from his usual paintings of cooks.
And you brought along some food.
Yeah.
Were you worried about our catering?
You know, I want to play with all of this stuff. It's fun. The shell's very nice. You're welcome to touch it.
It's for you.
Thank you. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, yes, well, we've got to have a better serious conversation now, don't we? Now, look, what? You hung up on me. Blast you!
Meanwhile, exposed to the ever-erratic elements and with their typical can-do attitude, are our 50 wildcard artists.
Are you used to painting outdoors?
I do paint outdoors a fair bit, really.
Would you pick a day like today normally, though?
Well, I live in Norway and I paint in Norway. This is kind of bog standard. Maybe not so much with the wind, but the rain definitely.
Yeah. OK, so you're pretty hardy.
So you arrived this morning with lots of vegetation. What did you bring?
Right, so today I've got preserved moss.
So this has been treated so that it won't decay, is that right?
Yeah, so you want, all what you need to do, just keep away from water.
Right.
And keep away from sunlight.
What are you going to do if it rains?
Well, I think I'm prepared. I've got 5 umbrellas.
Probably just as well, because only 5 minutes later, the weather turns yet again.
It's a bit frustrating with the weather. Every 5 minutes chucks it down, so it's not making it easy.
Oh, that's gothic and moody. Oh, like the day. But you're persevering. You deserve a drink and a warm bath at the end of the day.
It's only a bit of rain, isn't it, you know?
Oh, having great fun. Something to remember. Woohoo!
Do you often paint in these conditions?
If I count this time, this has been first.
Right.
The reward for their dogged determination, the chance to win a place in the semi-final.
Halfway through the challenge, and some of our artists have reached a crucial stage in their landscape.
This is where it can get a bit tricky and sticky to try and figure out now how to pull out the painting from what I've got.
I'm trying to get the kind of moody, misty weather here that we're getting at the moment. So trying to get that to come across in a line-up print is quite difficult because it is a medium quite set in stone. I can't put washes of paint or anything.
I think the things that's concerning me is that it just looks really unresolved and like a bit vague. And I usually, it should be a bit tighter. Maybe I'll manage to pull it together.
It's a bit nail-biting, it's a bit risky, and I think it should be risky. That's what painting is.
Eight artists are halfway through their challenge to capture the breathtaking view from blustery Plymouth Hoe. And with only 2 hours left, it's action stations all round.
What's the next phase?
Pencil.
Right.
Gonna do some sketching on top of it.
Okay.
Maybe tighten it up a bit.
Right.
Maybe look at it a bit. Maybe
Okay.
make some noises about looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just working on the cliffs here at the moment. So your wrist gets really, really sore. So I suppose a lot of printmakers suffer for their art.
My main concern is to merge with what is out there. These are my ingredients, this is the meal, and I am the one who's going to translate it.
Battling through the inclement weather, the judges have been keeping a close eye on the artists all morning, but retire to a more sheltered spot to review their progress so far.
What do you feel about the gift of a lighthouse to an artist? Isn't it a little obvious?
Well, the lighthouse is very obvious, and I think most of them have been very inventive in trying to accommodate it.
Now, William Balthazar, I think his painting is almost as showy as he is himself.
I think his painting's rather good. So it's a pity it's sort of being obscured by this performance. But the way he puts the paint on has got a certain textural quality that is very reminiscent of his submission, and I think is going somewhere.
I disagree. I think there's a lot of sensitivity and sort of poetry in the submission that we're not getting today. I don't know if it's because he's used those quite chalky colours, the blues and the whites.
OK. Zosha.
I love the fact that it's as if you're looking through a window. I like the fact that it's on the slant. It gives it a little bit of tension.
I love the orange he's chosen because, of course, this red and white banding is very obvious, and by changing the tone slightly, it's very delicate but very strong.
OK, Kathy.
I love a tondo. We haven't had many in the competition ever. This circular format, you have to make very intelligent choices. And, of course, if you're making lino cut, you have to make exceptionally good choices early on.
Everyone is dealing with the sky, which is either blue or grey or raining. Anyone with paint can change it at all times. If you're doing lino cut, it's once forever.
Yeah, but she's very, very highly skilled with those very dangerous weapons that she has surrounding her.
Maggie.
What is fascinating to me with Maggie's work is there's something in the line that I know it's authentic. So each line, although it's just layered and you think this is going willy-nilly, there is a real sense of something important going on. My problem is when it comes to something more solid like the headland, it's suddenly not sitting in space properly. And I hope that she finds a way of anchoring that into a realistic space.
Now, Andrew.
The work feels a little bit messy at the moment. It hasn't coalesced yet, and maybe that's something that happens towards the end. But it feels like you something you like.
I love it. He's using the red, so even through the paint, he can still see where the drawing is. But he understands also, of course, that aesthetic looks very beautiful. But there's a vitality to his painting, which I think is fantastic.
Are you telling me you like him because he paints like you do?
Not quite like me, but like my teacher.
While Plymouth's coastline provides a picturesque vista for today's visiting artists, in the summer of 1815 it played host to one particularly notorious visitor. After his defeat at the Battle of Waterloo, Napoleon surrendered on board the Royal Navy's HMS Bellerophon on the 15th of July. After sailing to Plymouth, she lay anchored in the harbour for 2 weeks as the French Emperor's future was decided.
It's really hard to imagine that you would have somebody that had been defeated in war that had caused a lot of death, a lot of grief, and then you bring them to Plymouth, where he parades himself on deck of the ship, and everybody wanted to see him.
Amongst the crowd were journalists and artists eager to capture the subject of a lifetime. One of them was the young Plymouth-born painter Charles Locke Eastlake. The ambitious 21-year-old drew his boat alongside the Bellerophon just as the man who'd struck such fear into the hearts of the British public was taking a walk on deck.
Eastlake was sketching Napoleon, and Napoleon obviously clocked this and asked to see some of the sketches. Napoleon allowed him to take his jacket and various other bits of his apparel back to his studio in High Street so they could get the detailing absolutely right on his outfit.
Eastlake's portrait of Napoleon is one of the most famous paintings of the extraordinary events of July 1815. And it was the start of a glittering career, which eventually saw Eastlake appointed as the first director of the National Gallery.
All thanks to a chance meeting with one of the most infamous Frenchmen of all time that took place here in Plymouth Sound.
With a resilience fitting for an area rich in naval history, 50 wildcards have battled through what Mother Nature has thrown at them. And they've come out the other end, still smiling.
It seemed pointless using an umbrella, seeing everyone else's blow away. I mean, I love the painting, but I'm more concerned about the state of your knees. Are your legs really that wet right the way through?
Right the way down to my socks.
Oh, my goodness.
Amazing. You've done that in one day. Fantastic.
Are you with each other, or have you just met?
We aren't. No, we've been with each other for a long time.
Oh, I see. OK. Married?
Yes.
Yes. And you've decided to come out to sunny Plymouth?
To end it all.
So which artist has done enough to be in the running for a place in the semi-final?
I've seen some quite good paintings considering the
I
crazy
have.
weather.
Very
I've seen
good.
lots I like, yeah.
The woman with beautiful, big, portrait, upright, very warm, yellow, colourful piece. I want to be in that version of today. But next to her, a few doors down, is the guy who's really put a really beautiful painting together there.
Well constructed and well finished for the weather and the time.
Yeah.
OK, the weather gets it, or the one who beat the weather gets it.
Hiya.
I think you've done a rather good painting. We think you've done a rather good painting today.
Blimey.
And congratulations,
Oh,
you're our
good night. I think I'm a bit giddy, really. I think I'm going to go into shock. Maybe it's a bit too soon, but gin and tonic might cure that.
John O'Neill from Reading will enter a pool of wildcard winners from all the heats, from which one will be selected for a place in the semi-final.
Further up the Hoe, our 8 artists are into their final hour.
I'll probably put a bit of thicker paint on here and there. I need to work on this headland.
I'm feeling quite panicky, just a little panicky, because I know that I'm not going to pull off something that is going to be great, you know, but hopefully it's going to work.
I carved most of the fine details, so I'm happy enough. But yeah, I don't know how my little line of cut stands up to all these fabulous paintings.
Oh God, I'm still worried it's really twee. I've put some more drab colours on it since I had a bit of a panic, and hopefully that will tone it down a little bit. Hand of the gods.
Here on windswept Plymouth Hoe, our 8 artists are nearing the end of their 4-hour challenge.
Artist, you have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes.
Oh God, 5 minutes.
While most of the seascapes are nearing completion, one hasn't even appeared yet.
Your first print?
Yeah.
So it's a heart-stopping moment.
Yeah.
Because we haven't got long to go, have we?
No.
I don't want to freak you out, but we're into the last few minutes.
This is my main worry.
And you get one chance to connect the two.
One, two.
Wow.
Trying to just stay focused and get round the whole painting.
We need to get some detail here and there without overdoing it.
I think, oh, I've got to do that, got to do that, got to do it here, there, and everywhere.
To really make it work, I would probably need another 2 hours.
Artists, you have 1 minute left. Uno minuto.
Oh, my God.
That's still enough time to ruin it, you know?
Stop the clock, somebody.
Artists, your time is up.
Put down your work and stand away from your easel.
Well done. How was it? Right.
How was yours?
Well, this is what it is.
While the artists take a well-deserved break, the judges review the 8 completed landscapes.
I think William Balthasar clearly knows what he's doing. The way he's given the lighthouse a rounded form by really subtle variations in the colour.
I like the way he puts on the paint very dryly, very thickly, which makes it very painterly. And the sky, there's some marks in there where you just wonder what's going on, and it sort of jumps forward.
Joshua's given us a fantastically colourful snapshot of today. The way in which he's used this device, which is modelled on the pod, really gives us a thrust into that focal point over there, but still so much energy and dynamism in that sky.
What I particularly like is Tony's use of this elevated position. We're almost floating above as we look across the bay. I find his painting technique a bit sort of underdeveloped in the landscape, but I can see he was getting close to that sort of strange, nostalgic feeling he had in Submission.
We've got this fantastic tondo. I love the off-kilter lighthouse. It feels very exact, and at the same time that a lot of it's drawn from her imagination somehow.
And the fact that everything's flipped, it makes me sort of spend more time trying to renegotiate the landscape that I've been looking at outside.
Andrew's choice of this very thin composition works very well. We get the immensity of the day without being overwhelmed by huge expanses of sky and sea.
One of the things I find a bit distracting is that he tidied it up, and he's tidied, and then it just looks like he's shoved loads of stuff in the cupboard. That doesn't look properly tidied to me. It's not quite resolved.
I think Lisa was wrong in choosing this small size of a canvas. She needed more space that way.
I think the verticality could have worked better if Lisa left some of the background undone.
I think Dante needed to tighten up rather than loosen up. What I really liked about his submission was that tightness of focus. And here it's a little bit too wishy-washy for me.
Maggie left out the lighthouse, so we're seeing a slightly different take from all the others who are pretty lighthouse-centric.
But that headland, I don't find, is sitting in that space. And I wondered whether maybe if she had brought in the lighthouse, it would have been a way of anchoring us in the foreground and giving us that space.
The judges must now whittle the 8 artists down to 3.
I mean, this looks really strong, despite the fact that it's so different. It's looking really strong.
I have to say, this one, which I wasn't so sure about before, I like the sort of softness of the colour, but I keep on going back to this one. I know it's a little bit dirty, but I like it.
I love that one.
I think the composition is interesting and some of the colour choices are wonderful.
But it's a good top 3, isn't it? Look, how the diversity.
Artists, thank you for joining us today. You've all been magnificent.
But unfortunately, only 3 of you can make it onto the judges' shortlist. The first artist the judges have selected is Zosia Olenska.
The second artist on the shortlist is Kathy Reddy.
The third artist is Andrew Wykes.
Our commiserations to the rest of you. You've all done admirable work, and thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
I feel a little bit sad to not be carrying on the journey. It's very exciting to be here, but overall I'm very pleased. It was a wonderful day. I'm very happy with how it went for me.
There can only be one winner to go through to the semi-final, so the judges take into consideration the submitted artwork to help them decide.
Well, judges, we've had wind and we've had rain, and we have very different impressions of what it's been like to be here today.
We gave them a pretty confronting view. The lighthouse is not to be messed with. I mean, it's very vertical, it's very stripy, and yet we've got three very different interpretations. I think it's really exciting to see that.
But three consistent artists. They've brought what we picked them for and kept that language going. It's quite extraordinary because it was a difficult view to tackle, and they've done it all in their own inimitable ways.
So let's talk about each artist one by one. How about Zosha's work today?
What Zosha does really, really effectively is use a device like a window for us to look through. In her submission, it's the frame of the bridge, but here in the work that she did today, it's the side of the pod. It's very effective.
She obviously spent a lot of time on her submission. We see lots of detail, lots of painstaking window panes. She didn't have the time to do that today, but she gave us the same sort of effect of really throwing the eye into the distance of scale. And it's impressive to see that she can do it in a slightly different way.
Kathy's given us another elegant lino cut.
I'm impressed. Kathy's close-up barley heads. I just didn't know how she was going to move from that close-up to this space and the monumental lighthouse. And she's given us something that is inventive, and it all sits very beautifully together, and it's very punchy. She, you know, considering she's up against paintings with thick paint on them or colour on them, it really stands its ground.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be brave to come and make prints on landscape artists, especially on a day like today with this weather. And I think Kathy was doubly brave because she didn't use colour. And this really strong monochromatic work really stands up against the others.
Andrew knows what he's doing.
Andrew is very clever, I think, to take that bottom section of the lighthouse and plonk it in that left-hand side and sort of allow it to weight down the entire composition.
This is a very exaggerated panorama. He kept enough of the lighthouse in that we understood what it was, and he allowed that colour to inform the headland in the background, and he did that really effectively in his submission. But I think he has a really sensitive understanding of colour.
Well, we've had a great day by the lighthouse, but this is the calm before the storm, because you judges now need to train your beam on just one of these artists. Very good. I'm here all week.
Zosha, Kathy, Andrew, each of you has displayed remarkable talent, but sadly, only one can go forward.
The judges have made their decision, and the artist they have chosen is... Kathy Reddy.
Well done, well done. Well done.
Shocked, I'm still shaking, like with my hands. I can't believe it. All those paintings were amazing, such beautiful works of art, but my little lino cut was able to win. I'm shocked.
I was really impressed by what Kathy pulled off today. You see in the decisions she's made that she's done this for quite a while now. She's moved away from the traditional printmaking lino cut languages that I've seen so often before, and she's really developing her own language and her own equivalents. You know, to make a tree, a lighthouse, a bay, and translate it into black and white in a way that hasn't been done before, that's quite an achievement. And I'm really looking forward to see how she reacts to what we give her next time.
It feels amazing. Happy to have a print win for once and not a painting.
Welcome to Hurst, Monsu in Sussex. Once home to the Royal Greenwich Observatory, the site still houses 6 historic working telescopes.
And today it's home to 8 astronomically talented artists who we know will make a bid for the stars in search of landscape glory.
Let's hope they create something out of this world. It's Landscape Artist of the Year.
Over the course of our glorious British summer, we're visiting some of the most spectacular and thrilling scenery that our sceptred isles have to offer.
48 talented artists will be challenged to capture these magnificent views and turn them into their own landscape masterpieces. Come rain or shine.
The weather is crazy, but it's still a beautiful landscape.
The artists are competing for a sensational prize, a £10,000 commission to paint a scene in Venice to celebrate the bicentenary of the art critic John Ruskin.
To be in with a chance of winning, they'll have to impress our 3 exacting judges: Kathleen Soriano, Taishan Schierenberg, and Kate Bryan.
Have you been practicing doing a painting in a day?
I've got different speeds, so I'm just gonna...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just...
Well, put yourself on turbo speed to do.
Yeah.
And at every heat are an extra 50 artists, our wild cards, just one of whom will make it to the semi-final.
So sit back and enjoy as the search for the Landscape Artist of the Year takes shape.
I do landscapes in triangles. I do lots of things in triangles. Everything is triangles.
Not literally. I mean,
not literally.
You don't see me in a triangle.
I can. Yes.
Oh, you can.
Yes.
Okay.
Engaging with both the landscape and the British weather are today's competitors, comprising 4 professional artists: Pippa Cunningham, Stephen Royals, Patsy Moore, and James Hayes.
I think the weather kind of suits me. I like to paint gloomy skies, so couldn't have asked for more.
Joining them are 4 amateurs: Drew Carr, Tamara Savchenko, Chien Snow, and Roy Carlos.
I have painted in rain before. I don't think I'm worried about anything, except maybe lightning.
All of the artists were selected from a piece of artwork they submitted online. So today, the judges get their first chance to scrutinise the art in person.
Well, judges, welcome out of the rain to contemplate some really stunning landscapes. Look at the sunlight on this one.
There's such an intensity of colour here. You really feel bathed in a warmth. I really like the way the paint's put down. I mean, they're really clearly delight in these big, bold brushstrokes that sort of dance across the canvas.
I had problems with this sort of angular style, but seeing it in the flesh, what really works is the distance the artist will be able to create and the space in a believable landscape.
You know, we often want our artists to have their own particular style. It feels like this artist has found their own voice. It's a really creative composition, actually, sort of combining the man-made and the natural in that way with that fantastic viewpoint that frames the landscape for us.
But so counterintuitive in a sense, because, you know, if you're teaching somebody about painting, you would say, don't frame something that's symmetrical with something that's sort of geometrical. But it works because of that contrast between the natural and the pylon.
It's a really strong bit of storytelling. Man's existential crisis in the face of the forces of nature. There's a storm brewing on the mountains, there's a tiny little patch of light in the distance, and he seems all alone with his thoughts.
What a cheerful picture.
Oh, it's fantastic. I want a coconut, I want my bikini.
The way the marks are made, there's a speed to them, which sort of suggests also the speed of light somehow. It sort of matches the brightness. Today is a rather dull day, so I'm quite intrigued how they'll bring this language to bear.
This is very gritty, it's very industrial, but at the same time, well, it's really quite cute with all these lovely colours. I mean, I don't think you look at this and feel kind of weighed down by industry. I think you feel intrigued by it.
Again, a fantastic composition. The diagonals are pushing us out to the edges of the canvas, and a small work is telling a huge story within it.
are water in a landscape. Water's always wonderful and refreshing, but it must be hard to paint.
Very difficult to paint, especially in this way. I can hear the water rushing. You know, it's very well done. I mean, it leads your eye through the landscape in such a way that it becomes very abstract. And I think it's a fantastic bit of painting.
I love the colour palette. Everything's got this really lovely kind of yellow glow, so you don't know whether or not it's like a kind of sandy scene and that's echoed into this glowing yellow sky.
The way in which they've sort of created these lovely blocks of colour with the different buildings and distant mountains, you know, and I think it's quite an interesting, not an obvious colour palette.
So here we are, 8 extremely talented artists, all very different. Rain coming and going, how will they handle that? We wait and see.
Artists, the moment has arrived.
You have 4 hours to complete your landscape, and the time starts now.
Assessing their surroundings, the artists get underway. Each with their own particular technique. Their view is of Hurst Monsu Observatory, once home to the Astronomers Royal and still in use today, albeit by less august stargazers.
Mirroring the domes of the telescopic housing, we've dropped in some rather shiny celestial objects of our own.
We're looking for the artists today to really respond to what we've put in front of them. You know, how do they deal with that traditional English pastoral scene and this very kind of modern geometric form with this amazing reflection, actually? There's good storytelling here. I mean, they could do something quite moody. We could have something quite strange. We could almost have like an alien landing landscape artist of the year. That would be fun.
I think the view is incredible. When we arrived, I actually shed a tear of joy because I love round things. I've never painted round things, but I love round things.
I usually go for kind of distance and horizons, and there's none of that today. And the silver balls certainly add a bit of complexity as well, which I try not to panic about.
For one artist, panic may actually be setting in.
It's not a view I would pick. It's really difficult. I mean, normally you pick things that have some sort of connection, you know, there's a feeling that you want to paint. And this is like quite challenging for me because I don't have any of those sort of feelings towards it.
Local artist Pippa Cunningham studied fashion and textile design. During her career, she's been commissioned by high-end fashion houses and national charities. She often features balmy climes, as depicted in her submission, painted in gouache on a recent trip to Sri Lanka.
Now, your submission was the beach scene.
Yeah, I like sunny, hot places.
Sunny, hot places.
Yeah.
It's not.
No.
It's also quite a challenging image, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's quite hard.
So you've started with a wash.
Yeah.
We've got this huge, bold splash of green.
Yeah, I'll be splashing out for the next 4 hours, I think.
Where are you going to focus?
Probably just sort of, I don't know yet, exactly.
Do you know, I think this is the hardest landscape we've ever presented to anyone. Really hard. But don't let me discourage you.
No, thanks.
Because everyone else is in the same boat.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a definite precision about the architecture, but ironically, as an architect, I don't really enjoy painting buildings. I would usually choose mountains or lochs, a bit of both.
Glasgow-based architect and amateur artist Drew Carr's submission in oils is painted from a photograph he took of Long Loch while out running near his home. The scene's been framed by the geometric form of an electricity pylon.
Drew, you've sketched it in a sort of a kind of blue underpainting.
Yeah, I always kind of do a quick wash, mark like 9/3, as it were, trying to figure out where I think the composition's going to sit.
Is that because it makes for a better composition, or it helps you draw out the scene in front of you?
It's kind of like a really lazy way of gridding up.
Once this is done, you start applying realistic colour? Or?
Yeah, so I kind of always get the sky in first and then kind of just work my way forwards, basically.
Oh, OK. So actually the paint is physically coming forward as well?
Yeah, I just did that when I first kind of got into painting. I kind of learned that the hard way. Like, trying to do the sky last was a nightmare, just trying to paint it around everything you'd done.
It's a very beautiful start. I would like to hang that on my wall, but I think it needs to go on, so I'll let you get on with it.
All right, thanks very much.
Also experiencing the volatile weather at Hurst Monsu today are a further 50 weather-proofed artists, our wildcards. They're pitched directly in front of the historic castle, an army of umbrellas on manoeuvres, deploying tactical measures regardless of the rain.
I've got 2 easels because I've got a metre-wide canvas, and then I'll have good firm, and I won't wobble at the end.
It's fun, isn't it? It's day out. Be a nice warm bath later, I think.
I'd sit down, but my seat's got a puddle in it.
Should their landscapes catch the judge's eye, they could win a place in the semi-final. But some don't want to just catch their eye.
If you come right back now and tell me what to do next, then I'll be very happy.
Yeah, right.
You've got a plastic bucket, you've got a broom, you've got a mop.
We've got it all here.
Was the art shop shut?
I just wanting to cover this large canvas. Much quicker, you see.
Is this-
Didn't need any of those little tiny paintbrushes.
Turner didn't know what he was doing, did he? Who needs paintbrushes?
Meanwhile, our chosen 8 are taking a slightly more traditional approach, depicting their scene at Hurst Monsu Observatory.
I've never painted anything quite like this before. This is very different. I like a view that will tell a story, and that's what I try and get across in the painting, that there is a story to be told there.
Professional artist Patsy Moore's Shantytown submission is painted in oils. A fine art graduate from the University of Edinburgh, for the past 17 years she's tutored budding artists on how to get their stories across on canvas.
Patsy, what are you making of these quite extraordinary orbs that have found their way into this bucolic English landscape?
Fabulous.
Oh, you like them? Good.
I
I'm
do.
pleased.
They're reflecting. I mean, it's all about the sky, this view anyway, I think, isn't it? The story is about the sky. I'm intrigued by how much lighter the globes are than the sky itself.
I mean, they make the sky look so dramatic, don't they? It's
Behind
like a
it,
vortex, those clouds.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a bit vortexy today,
Yeah,
I think, hasn't
well,
it?
that happens on Landscape Artist of the Year. I love this undercolour that you're using. It's a kind of almost fleshy pink tone.
I think it has advantages because there's warmth in the atmosphere, and that can come through if you leave a few crackles of the
I can
sort of
see you
dusky
doing
pink
that.
underneath.
Yeah. OK, good. Well, let's see where we end up with the day.
All right.
Those observatories look like giant Daleks. Kind of, we will exterminate. We're going to come and get you. It's good. I like it.
Somerset-based amateur artist Chien Snow is a freelance graphic designer and mum to 2 young girls. She revels in the freedom of oil painting, working quickly to capture scenes.
Chien, you've gone off like a rocket. I mean, you're painting, not you.
I'm keeping with the theme of the
Of
astronomical theme.
Sending stuff up into the heavens.
Yeah.
You don't hang about, do you?
I don't. I try to, actually. I try to sit back and think about it and be really sensible.
Oh.
And then I thought, no, I've got to just be myself.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to dive in.
Right.
I've got 4 canvases.
Have
so
you?
If I mess up.
OK. You've got a plan B, C and D.
Yeah.
So you
Like
wrestle
me.
with your art.
Oh, yeah.
It's a psychological battle
Oh, yeah,
with yourself.
yeah, I'm never happy.
Really. You smile, but inside there is...
Crying.
Well, I expect to look over later and see you laughing hysterically one minute and crying like a baby
I will.
the next.
With an hour of the challenge gone, is the view still to everyone's liking?
It's just getting everything coordinated. There's an order, chaos, order, chaos, order. I'm at one of the chaoses.
I always feel like the beginning's not too crucial for me. Everything kind of moves about a little bit and changes a lot throughout the course of the painting. So once I've got everything covered, that's the proper start.
I am finding it difficult. It's just feeling a bit blank, I think. Might fill it up with buttercups.
At Hurst Monsu Observatory in Sussex, our 8 artists are into the second hour of their 4-hour challenge to capture the cosmic view. But for one, artistic license may play its hand.
I think this view, I'm reasonably happy with it, but I think there is room for shuffling things around. I'm juggling the balls.
Not fazed by today's weather is amateur artist Roy Carless, who has a love for light, as demonstrated in his submission of Thornton Force in the Yorkshire Dales. An experienced landscape artist, in 2017 his painting of South Gare on Teesside won that day's wildcard heat.
Hi, Roy.
Hello.
How are you going to cope with these big balls?
Oh, fine, that's no problem, I think, really.
I mean, you've really gone for it. You've put them all in. You've decided to embrace them fully. So you started with the compass.
Yep. So I've let everybody else know that they are available for rent.
Have you got no competitive edge in you at all? You should have kept them for yourself.
No.
This could have been your defining, glorious feature.
Indeed.
You're the only one smooth around balls.
But one artist has no need of a compass.
My specific style is just not to use curves, which is, with this many shiny balls, it's pretty challenging. When I started learning how to paint, it's just a revolt against all the curves. I just want to just be sharp and straight and still beautiful.
Retired chemistry teacher Tamara Savchenko originally hails from Russia, but for nearly 30 years has made Exeter in Devon her home. Her submission, an oil painting of Budleigh Salterton Beach, is in her signature geometric style, something which might prove tricky with today's spherical view.
Tamara, we recognise the reduction of the landscape from your submission, of course, but what's missing is the triangulation.
If you look, everything is a little bit triangular-ish. So it doesn't have to be an exact triangle. It's just a straight line which create the angular shapes.
There's a looseness here that I'm really enjoying. It gives it much more texture.
I just actually want to make a landscape which is more or less realistic, and on the other hand is chopped into my shapes.
And I think you've done that really well. I love the surreal quality of it and the way the worlds are reflected inside the spherical balls as well.
I love them so much, those balls. And I've had the smiley face over there.
Oh, yeah, the gravel makes a smiley face.
It's actually a smiley face there.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Well, let's see if the smiley face makes an appearance and what happens when the trees come in.
Our landscape. Trees, grass, 6 copper domes and a lot of silver balls. A weird one today.
It looks a bit like a prog rock album cover, don't you think? I think it's amazing. I must say I wouldn't want to paint it, though. So we've really...
Tough.
Yeah, it is very tough. The balls are very shiny and the balls are reflecting within the balls.
I am told, from above they look like the solar system.
Nice. Well, it really is for the artist to find subtle differences in the landscape that contains a lot of the same shape.
How could they muck this up? How could they cock up the balls?
I don't know. I mean, the human mind likes to make order. And if they start subliminally sort of lining things up and trying to make order, it could get very boring. So they really need to concentrate that there's a nice rhythm in their painting.
I think if the wind picks up, it'll blow all those balls down and wipe out several of our artists. Maybe that's how we let them know who's the winner.
I don't need to do too much judging then.
We just roll 7 balls down and wipe out 7 pods, and the one who's left is the winner.
Excellent idea.
Trying to do justice the roundness of those spheres. I can't remember the last time I painted a sort of perfect circle, so we'll see. They might be imperfect, but...
A love of straight lines in the landscape is also much more Stephen Royal's style. A Bolton-based professional artist, he has a passion for painting construction sites, fascinated by their dynamic energy.
Steve, your submission was lots of straight lines, and we've given you a composition with lots of round things in it.
I'm still trying to do straight lines. And I think maybe I'm going to do quite solid lines for the domes.
And what about light? Is that important?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, because it gives you absolute depth, doesn't it? And especially when we first started this morning, it was so flat, I was struggling with the sky.
Okay.
But now we've got sort of creases in the sky. It's really interesting, that.
I can feel it happening. There's a way to go, so I'll let you get on with it.
Brilliant, thank you.
Like all these domes and all these spheres, and there's a lot of competing elements. So I just kind of decided to focus on one of the domes and just a couple of the spheres. Went with a kind of a portrait, elongated canvas because I wanted to emphasize the sky. There was a bit of thunder and lightning earlier, and if you're trying to paint an atmospheric sky, like, to be honest with you, that kind of stuff kind of helps.
31-year-old professional artist James Hayes describes himself as a country boy at heart. Born in County Kerry, he takes artistic inspiration from the brooding, expansive skylines he's grown up with.
Are you happy to see clouds and grey skies, or would you prefer blue skies?
Absolutely thrilled. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't get a lot better than this, does it?
No.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing something a bit dramatic, maybe slightly more dramatic than what we've got.
Your submission was very dramatic.
Yeah, the submission is dramatic.
Yeah,
it's
huge landscape with those big storm clouds gathering.
Yeah.
Who's the figure in the painting?
That's my brother. He ends up in a lot of my work. He kind of wanders into shot, you know, and sure, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Do you two come as a pair?
We do, yeah. Today, anyway.
Are you close in age?
Yeah, we're twins.
You're twins?
Yeah. So
that's close in age.
Relatively close, yeah.
In the submission, you look very moody. Are you the dark, brooding one?
Always.
And you're the light, sunny, smiley one?
I wouldn't go that far.
There you go. Oh, really? You're both moody.
Yeah.
Enjoying respite from the rain, our 50 wildcard competitors are working on their interpretations of the medieval castle, vying for the chance of just one place in the semi-final.
Well, that's great. I mean, I think you're the only person who's had the guts to take on the whole castle. So well done.
What I find interesting is there's a lot of colour. I mean, and given that it's a grey day, I mean, I know there's a lot of green, but there's a lot of psychedelic colour as well.
There
are
a
people
lot of,
playing with bright colours.
The way the castle is reflected in the brown water, I mean...
Pink water.
I'm sure the water's brown and it's pink because the castle's reflecting it, but whatever. There are colours, you know, you're talking about colours. I mean, I'm looking and it looks a very drab day, and even this great castle looking pretty drab, but I think you're right, people are compensating because as they're looking or finding their way into the painting, they're finding these colours to work with. But
over your shoulder,
yeah.
I can see an amazing picture, which is mainly sky and just the turret of the castle.
They've all cracked on at an incredible pace.
Everything you do you put that black line?
Right, I'm not really interested in a landscape in a conventional way, but I like the shapes. So the black line helps me to kind of pull out the shapes, really.
Works very well. Well done. I like your umbrella as well.
The fact that water's running down your painting, you know, it adds to it somehow.
Basically just got your back to this castle. You're bossing the castle out because you're saying, I'd rather not paint the castle. We've got the tiniest sliver.
I don't particularly like the building, but I think it works reasonably well the way I've just put it on the edge like that.
Back at the observatory, our selected artists are also feeling the effects of the meteorological mayhem.
The weather has been so crazy. I've changed the sky a million times. You kind of hear claps of thunder and you think, oh yeah, and they kind of try and get the dark clouds in, and now I might as well just catch the rain on my canvas and see what happens.
As the weather is changing, so are the colours, so are the tones, and you have to adjust to what I saw earlier as well as what I see now.
Every time I look at the balls again, they've changed in colour or pattern. Of course, the sky's done the same. I'm going to have to rework that. Plenty to do.
Our 8 artists are nearly halfway through their challenge to depict the renowned observatory at Hurst, Monsu in Sussex. With just over 2 hours left, one artist is still struggling with her composition.
Pippa, here, I'm looking at the centre and there's an emptiness to it. Yeah. You still need to give your work a sort of a focus, don't you?
Yeah.
So, I mean, where would you say the focus is at the moment?
I don't know, that's the problem at the moment.
Might you introduce an object or a thing in this middle ground?
Well, I was thinking of painting the...
Oh, the camera?
Yeah.
And totally uninterested in that copper roof of the observatory. It doesn't appeal to you at all?
Not really.
What is it that put you off it?
The shape of it, the colour of it, where it is.
I love that you're screwing up your nose at this observatory. You're just absolutely not having any of it. Well, good for you. I mean, we want you to paint a version of what's in front of you, and you've chosen your very particular, quieter corner. So good for you.
Clearly not at a loss in the landscape is Chi Yen, who's already completed one canvas and is now working on another.
Yen, you're on your second painting.
I am.
It's a different composition. Tell me why you got bored.
This was more of a study. This is me having fun. Like sitting an exam, you do your best very early on, make sure you get everything done, and then you kind of go, ah.
Also having artistic fun is Roy.
I love the way that you've got the echoes of the silver balls in the sky. I love that.
I don't know whether they're going to stay in there or not.
OK.
I'm not averse to pushing a bit towards the abstract.
OK.
I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, so even you don't know?
I'm really not sure.
So, what do the judges think of our 8 artists' progress so far?
Is there anything nicer than coming to the British countryside in the summer?
I think it's the worst we've
It's
had.
definitely the hardest rain.
But possibly the best quality of work in the pods that we've had. The complexity of the vista that we've given them has actually made them all put a lot more thought into it.
How is Patsy coping?
What is beautiful is the red ground she's used that's still coming through. I think what we liked about her work was a sense of her colour palette being slightly off. And at the moment, I'm not getting that enough.
Roy's been here before. Is his experience telling?
So the way he puts paint on is consistent and it's very beautiful. Very strange, the orbs are reflected in the sky, which I don't think is necessary.
But I quite liked seeing him this morning with his compass, you know, making sure he got everything right. And then as he paints, he sort of paints a lot of life into it.
Pippa's not interested, it seems, in the spheres or the observatories particularly. Is that a problem?
She's struggling, but in this struggle, she's reduced the whole thing down to just a field of green and one orb, and I think it's looking rather elegant.
I worry, though, that it's a bit dull in colour. It just seems a bit flat.
I love the colour and the density of that colour, the sort of chalkiness, the opaqueness of it. The palette that she's chosen today is really attractive.
Chien's interesting. She's on her second canvas. Very vivid, her painting.
Very vivid, and she uses colour really well. She plays around with the paint on the surface, lets it skid around, different brush marks. There's very little drawing, and a lot of it is done through this big gusto act of painting.
The second composition, I think, is slightly stronger, but she works so fast, I think she just needs to back off a bit and slow down and really sort of tighten things up a bit, because at the moment, I think it's too energetic.
How Drew do?
He starts with what's furthest back.
Right.
So when he paints something over the top, it is physically in front of what is behind. So the actual paint is following the same regression as what is...
Rather than just sitting side by side.
I don't know if I've had anyone paint like that, really, on this programme before, but I think it's quite an interesting way of doing it.
Some fine work out there. Let's see how they get on before those orbs hatch and our alien overlords rule the Earth.
The view of the observatory our artists are painting today only came about in the 1950s. The original Royal Observatory was based in Greenwich, founded by King Charles II in 1675. By the mid-19th century, light pollution in the capital prompted proposals to relocate the observatory to a rural location. In 1957, it moved here to Hurst, Monsu. Individual domes were constructed on the site to house 6 large telescopes, their green copper cladding designed to blend in with the Sussex landscape. At its busiest, 200 astronomers and support staff were based at the Hurst site, monitoring the night skies. The 7-metre-long Thomson refractor is one of the largest telescopes in the world. In 1969, it was used by a team of astronomers assigned by NASA to map the surface of the Moon ahead of the Apollo mission, and it's still in working order. Every night, the Hurst astronomers mapped the position of the Sun and stars, and were even responsible for generating the Greenwich time signal, more commonly known as the BBC Pips. In 1990, the Royal Observatory moved again, this time to Cambridge to be close to the university. But the old telescopes and their iconic green domes remain here at Hurst. The site is now a science education centre, inspiring the next generation of stargazers.
Today, down the hill from the observatory, 50 wildcards have spent their day dodging the downpours, capturing the castle on canvas. Only one will be selected to be in with a chance of making it to the semi-final.
2 ladies in purple. Did you deliberately set out to match?
No, it's totally accidental.
Except we both like
purple. We both like purple,
obviously.
yeah.
Now, yours is not purple.
No, but there are elements of purple there.
So this is yours?
It is.
What do you say she should do now?
Scrap it and start again.
So which of our wildcards has impressed today?
They've been amazing, and some really good work has come out of this dreadful day.
There was a guy at the very far end, and he did a large landscape, and he was using masking fluid, and actually he really allowed the rain to literally tell the story of the morning.
And that fantastic tree, did you see the...
Yes,
I
with the root
love
ring and
that.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
The one that stands out for me in terms of picture making is the woman who's got a sliver of...
I love her. Do you like that one?
I do like it. I think the way in which she structured the trees with the colours, I thought was very effective. So, yeah, let's go for her.
OK, good.
Yeah, cool. OK, we've got a winner. We really like your painting. It's caught enough of the castle to get away with it. Well done, congratulations.
Absolutely delighted, thank you.
It's always a boost, really, to know that somebody else likes what you're doing. It's an absolute thrill. And it makes you think, yeah, I can do this, and I'll just carry on doing it.
Sue England from Chichester will enter a pool of wildcard winners from all the heats, at the end of which one will be selected for a place in the semi-final.
Back at the observatory, our 8 artists are into their final hour.
The only thing that's worrying me at the moment is, will I get it finished? But it's an interesting challenge. I'm not defeated by it yet.
Right now, I have no red brickwork in and rusty red doors. I've got those to do. If I don't get those in, then it's going to look weird, so I must get those in.
There's a couple of things that I can't quite write, which I'm kind of just going to run with. Domes haven't been easy, but it's too far on to undo them now.
Here at Hurst Observatory in Sussex, our 8 artists are coming to the end of their landscape challenge, with final make-or-break decisions being made.
I've got 10 minutes to go, and I'm just trying to paint the camera crew. They're quite difficult because they keep moving around.
Filling up the obvious gaps, the details, bits and pieces.
My main concern is choosing the right painting. I need a big hand to come along and push one over or something like that. Can't make a decision.
Artists, you have 1 minute left.
Another half hour would have been nice, but done what I can, I think.
Artists, the laws of space and time cannot be broken. Your time is up.
Please put down your equipment and stand away from your easels.
Well done, mate. Nice one.
Very well done.
Good on you.
For our artists, the hardest part is over. But for our judges, it's just beginning.
I think Patsy's been really clever. Sometimes when people have a seductive undercolour, they overplay it. And I think she's just given us enough of that fantastic deep rose pink.
There's a kind of distance also in Patsy's painting, as though you've come across a very strange scene. Because the circus tent is, you don't know what it is. From a distance, it gives it a certain mystery. What I particularly like about Roy's painting is the colour of the copper. It's so well observed. You even got the sense of its age, but also its wetness from the rain, and he's just caught it perfectly.
Yeah, and that echoing of the spheres, the whole thing is just wonderfully weird, really, but also precise and accurate.
I love Chi Yen's mark making, the way she puts paint on. I'm glad she went for the first version because it's more contained. You know, with that kind of painting, you need some control, and I think this has just about got it.
It's a kind of Alice in Wonderland trippy version of being here today. I'm really pleased that James chose this composition. I mean, the sky is a tour de force. You really get the sense of that sun doing its best to break through this thick cloud.
A lot of them reduced that area of sky because it was just too much, but he's just revelled in it.
I love Stephen's scratchiness. I thought that Stephen used line to construct space, but here he seems to use line to construct atmosphere as well. It's sort of rainy and uncomfortable.
It leaves an awful lot to the imagination in a very sort of poetic way. Tamara's all about reducing form and colour and shape.
There are really unusual shapes in here, which are very much Tamara's making. You know, these are not spherical. I do wonder, though, how successful this kind of green lawn is. Finally, the unsung heroes of Landscape Artist of the Year, the valiant camera team. This side of the canvas was crying out for something, and actually, you know, she resolved it with this inclusion.
Pippa's such a master mark maker with gouache. If she'd picked a more complex composition, she would have pulled off something quite amazing today.
Drew's made a very quiet, honest painting about today. He might be one of the most successful artists to deal with the orbs. The way that he kind of swirls the paint inside.
I like it. It's got a freshness. I could spend a lot of time looking at it.
The judges can only pick one artist to send through to the semi-final, so they initially narrow their selection to a shortlist of 3.
It's all about the balls today, isn't it? And the 3 that I feel have been most successful in dealing with that sort of luminescence that you get from them, those 2...
Yeah, they're great.
And that one.
And those 3, which really stand out, for me, used the orbs to their advantage.
The ones that we've picked are believable, and I think if you took the painting away from here, anybody seeing it would understand what's happening.
OK, good day painting.
Artists, you've all done exceptionally well dealing with this extraordinary scene today.
Sadly, only 3 of you can be shortlisted, and the judges have made their selection. The first artist on the shortlist is Roy Carlos.
The second artist is Patsy Moore.
The third artist, Drew Carr.
Commiserations to all of you who haven't made it, but we have really enjoyed watching your efforts today. They have been exceptionally good.
Well done.
It was an amazing experience. I will keep painting in my speed, with the same vibrant colours. I feel very encouraged.
Taking into consideration the artist's submission paintings, the judges must now make their final decision.
Well, our painters today struggle through some difficult conditions.
All these three have really risen to the challenge, actually.
So let's talk about each artist in turn, and starting with Patsy here.
I think I like Patsy's work today more than I like this. There's something about her submission that is very sort of staccato and precise. There's a more organic nature to the work that she made today.
The choice of the ground is really, really sensible, and just the way that it comes through, just enough.
With that beautiful red ground coming through and that sort of the purple in the sky, she's a really great colourist.
Ty, earlier in the day you were worried about Roy's reflecting the orbs in the clouds.
Yeah.
But has he resolved that for you successfully?
It seems to make sense. I got some sci-fi soundtrack coming through the clouds there, and I think those vibrations that make the painting more interesting.
And I'm pleased to see that he's just taking one step into something a bit more surreal, and I think it really raised his game for us today.
Drew came through.
I think Drew's painting has a language that makes sense, and the subdued colour and simplification works very well. But I would have liked a more vital surface.
He didn't put a contrivance on top of the work. He didn't just have a trick of seeing something through something else. He really painted what he saw today, and he's got this fantastic sense of distance.
I think all three of these artists today didn't just really nail the orbs, but they really thought carefully about the kind of sky that we have. This is not a characterless sky.
Well, the English summer's finally arrived, a few hours too late. You needed to pick a winner. I'm going to go and get my Speedos on.
Patsy, Roy, Drew. It is, of course, a fantastic achievement to have made it to the last three, but there can only be one winner.
And the judges have made their decision. The artist they have chosen to put through to the semi-final is... Patsy Moore.
Wow. Thank you.
I'm stunned that I've got through. The fact that the judges recognise something in my work is a big confidence boost.
On a wet, miserable, cold day, Patsy sort of outshone the others. Beautiful colours, beautiful sense of mood. She gave us that slightly surreal nature of the scene, but also the reality of it at the same time.
Winning this heat means the world to me. It's fabulous, tremendous.